In today's rapidly changing world, people are surrounded by constant noise, pressure, and expectations that often feel impossible to escape. From the moment individuals wake up, they are confronted with responsibilities, deadlines, comparisons, and an endless stream of information that demands their attention. This environment has created a deep sense of emotional and psychological strain that many struggle to articulate, let alone resolve. It is within this context that his teachings have found such a powerful and widespread audience. They do not exist in isolation from the realities of modern life. Instead, they step directly into the heart of the struggles that define it. Many people today experience a quiet but persistent sense of emptiness. Even those who appear successful on the surface, those with stable careers, financial security, and social recognition, often feel that something essential is missing. This feeling is difficult to explain because it is not always tied to a specific problem. Rather, it is a deeper sense of disconnection from purpose, from meaning, and sometimes even from oneself. His teachings resonate because they acknowledge this emptiness without dismissing it or masking it with superficial solutions. He speaks to the human condition in a way that feels honest and unfiltered, allowing people to recognize their own struggles in his words. Stress and anxiety have become almost normalized in modern society. People are expected to constantly perform, improve, and compete, often without pause. The pressure to succeed is no longer limited to professional life. It extends into personal identity, relationships, and even self-worth. Social comparisons, amplified by digital platforms, make individuals feel as though they are constantly falling behind. In such an environment, many feel trapped in a cycle of striving without satisfaction. His message cuts through this cycle by offering a different perspective, one that shifts the focus away from external validation and toward inner understanding. This shift is not just comforting, it is transformative because it challenges the very foundation of how people measure success and fulfillment. Loneliness is another defining issue of the modern age. Despite being more connected than ever through technology, many individuals feel isolated on a deeply personal level. Conversations have become shorter, interactions more superficial, and genuine connections harder to maintain. People often feel that they cannot fully express their fears, doubts, or vulnerabilities without being judged or misunderstood. His teachings create a sense of connection that goes beyond physical presence. When he speaks about pain, confusion, or the search for meaning, listeners feel seen and understood. This emotional connection reduces the sense of isolation and reminds individuals that their struggles are not unique or shameful, but shared and human. What makes his approach particularly impactful is that he does not rely on abstract or overly complex ideas. Instead, he brings attention to real-life experiences, moments of doubt, failure, loss, and questioning that everyone encounters at some point. By grounding his message in these realities, he makes it accessible and relatable. People do not feel as though they are being lectured or instructed from a distance. They feel as though they are being guided by someone who understands their journey. This relatability strengthens the connection between the speaker and the listener, making the teachings more than just words. They become something that can be applied and lived. The question of identity is another area where his teachings have a profound impact. In a world where people are constantly influenced by external expectations, many struggle to understand who they truly are. They adopt roles, labels, and personas that align with societal standards, often losing sight of their authentic selves in the process. This creates inner conflict and confusion as individuals attempt to meet expectations that may not reflect their true values or desires. His message encourages self-reflection and honesty, urging people to look beyond external definitions and discover their own sense of identity. This process is not always easy, but it is deeply empowering, as it allows individuals to reconnect with themselves on a more genuine level. Suffering is another reality that his teachings do not ignore or avoid. Instead of presenting life as something that can be made perfect or free of pain, he acknowledges that suffering is an inevitable part of the human experience. However, he also emphasizes that suffering can be understood, processed, and even transformed. This perspective offers hope without being unrealistic. It reassures people that their pain has meaning and that it can lead to growth rather than despair. By addressing suffering directly, he removes the stigma and fear associated with it, allowing individuals to confront their challenges with greater courage and resilience. In an age where material success is often seen as the ultimate goal, many people eventually realize that wealth, status, and recognition do not guarantee happiness. This realization can be deeply unsettling, as it challenges long-held beliefs about what it means to live a successful life. His teachings provide an alternative framework for understanding fulfillment, one that prioritizes inner peace, purpose, and self-awareness over external achievements. This does not mean rejecting ambition or progress, but rather redefining them in a way that aligns with deeper values. For many, this perspective is both liberating and reassuring, as it offers a path to fulfillment that is not dependent on constantly chasing more. Another reason his message resonates so strongly is that it offers clarity in a world that often feels confusing and contradictory. People are constantly exposed to different opinions, advice, and expectations, making it difficult to determine what is true or meaningful. This overload of information can lead to indecision and mental exhaustion. His teachings simplify complex ideas without oversimplifying them, providing a sense of direction that feels grounded and reliable. This clarity helps individuals navigate their lives with greater confidence and purpose, reducing the sense of being lost or overwhelmed. The emotional impact of his teachings cannot be overlooked. Many listeners describe feeling a sense of relief, as though a weight has been lifted from their shoulders. This is because his message validates their experiences and emotions, rather than dismissing or minimizing them. Validation is a powerful force, especially for those who have felt misunderstood or ignored. It creates a sense of acceptance that allows individuals to confront their struggles without fear or shame. This emotional resonance is one of the key reasons why his teachings continue to attract and inspire millions. His ability to connect deeply with people also stems from his authenticity. In a time where many voices compete for attention, authenticity has become increasingly rare and valuable. People are quick to recognize when something feels genuine versus when it feels forced or superficial. His sincerity comes through in his words and delivery, creating a sense of trust that strengthens the impact of his message. This trust is essential, as it allows listeners to open themselves to new perspectives and ideas without resistance. Ultimately, the widespread appeal of his teachings lies in their ability to address the fundamental questions and challenges of human existence. They do not promise quick fixes or easy answers, but they offer something far more meaningful, a way to understand oneself and the world with greater depth and clarity. In doing so, they provide a sense of direction and hope that many people are searching for. As individuals continue to navigate the complexities of modern life, the need for guidance, understanding, and inner peace remains as strong as ever. His teachings meet this need in a way that feels both relevant and timeless. They remind people that, despite the chaos and uncertainty of the world around them, there is a path toward meaning and fulfillment that begins within. And it is this message, simple yet profound, that continues to draw millions of listeners, each searching for answers and finding, in his words, a reflection of their own journey. Another powerful reason behind his widespread influence lies in the way he communicates, a quality that sets him apart in an age where attention is scarce and trust is fragile. Communication today is not just about speaking, it is about connecting, cutting through noise, and reaching people where they are. He understands this deeply, and that understanding has allowed his teachings to travel far beyond the limits of traditional spaces. In earlier times, influential voices were often confined to physical gatherings, restricted by geography and accessibility. Today, however, his message moves freely across borders, cultures, and time zones, reaching millions through digital platforms that have become central to everyday life. Social media, online videos, and public talks have transformed how ideas are shared, and he has embraced these tools in a way that feels natural rather than forced. Instead of resisting change, he has stepped into it, using these platforms to amplify his voice and extend his reach. This adaptability is crucial because it ensures that his teachings remain accessible to people who might never encounter them otherwise. A young person scrolling through their phone, a professional watching a short video during a break, or someone seeking guidance late at night can all come across his message in a moment that feels almost personal. This immediacy creates a sense of closeness, as though he is speaking directly to each individual rather than to a distant crowd. The simplicity of his language plays a central role in this connection. In a world where complex ideas are often presented in ways that feel intimidating or exclusive, he chooses clarity over complication. He does not rely on technical jargon or abstract terminology that only a few can understand. Instead, he speaks in a way that is straightforward and relatable, allowing people from all walks of life to grasp his message without difficulty. This simplicity does not weaken the depth of his teachings. Rather, it strengthens them by making them accessible. It ensures that his words can reach not just the educated or the privileged, but anyone who is willing to listen. Real-life examples are another key element of his communication style. Rather than speaking in purely theoretical terms, he draws from everyday experiences that people recognize instantly. These examples bridge the gap between concept and reality, helping listeners see how his teachings apply to their own lives. When people hear something that reflects their own struggles, decisions, or emotions, the message becomes more than just information. It becomes something meaningful and applicable. This practical relevance is what makes his teachings stick, as listeners are able to carry them beyond the moment of listening and into their daily lives. His delivery adds another layer of impact. Passion is evident in the way he speaks, not as something exaggerated or performative, but as something genuine and deeply felt. This passion communicates more than words alone ever could. It signals commitment, belief, and sincerity, all of which resonate strongly with audiences. People are naturally drawn to individuals who speak with conviction because it suggests that the message is not just something being repeated, but something truly lived and understood. This emotional energy creates a powerful connection, capturing attention and holding it in a way that few speakers can achieve. What makes his communication even more compelling is its universal appeal. People from different cultures, languages, and backgrounds find themselves able to connect with his message. This is not a coincidence, but the result of focusing on themes that are fundamentally human: struggle, purpose, identity, and hope. These themes transcend cultural boundaries, allowing his teachings to resonate on a global scale. When someone from one part of the world listens to him, they often feel the same sense of understanding as someone from a completely different context. This shared experience creates a sense of unity, as though his words are bringing people together across differences. Authenticity is perhaps the most defining characteristic of his communication. In a time where many voices compete for attention, people have become increasingly sensitive to what feels real and what feels artificial. His authenticity stands out because it is consistent and unmistakable. He does not appear to be driven by the need to impress or to gain approval. Instead, he speaks with honesty and openness. This authenticity builds trust, which is essential for any message to have a lasting impact. When listeners trust the speaker, they are more willing to reflect on what is being said and to consider it seriously. This trust is further strengthened by the sense that he genuinely cares about his audience. People are not just passive recipients of his message, they feel seen and valued. This emotional connection is powerful because it transforms the act of listening into a relationship of sorts. Even though the interaction may be one-sided, the listener feels a sense of engagement and understanding that goes beyond the surface. This feeling of being cared for is rare, especially in large-scale communication, and it contributes significantly to the loyalty that many of his followers develop. Conviction also plays a crucial role in shaping how his message is received. He speaks with a certainty that is grounded in belief rather than arrogance. This distinction is important, as it allows his words to carry weight without feeling dismissive of other perspectives. His conviction reassures listeners that the message is worth considering while still leaving space for personal reflection. This balance makes his teachings both persuasive and respectful, encouraging people to engage with them rather than reject them. In an era where skepticism toward authority is widespread, his honest and direct approach becomes even more significant. Many people today are cautious about whom they trust, often questioning motives and intentions. Traditional authority figures are no longer accepted without scrutiny, and this has created a demand for transparency and sincerity. His communication meets this demand by being straightforward and unfiltered. He does not rely on manipulation or hidden agendas, but instead presents his ideas clearly and openly. This transparency reduces resistance and allows his message to be received with greater openness. The directness of his approach also makes his teachings feel more impactful. Instead of circling around difficult topics, he addresses them head-on, acknowledging realities that others might avoid. This courage to speak openly about challenging issues resonates with audiences who are tired of vague or evasive communication. It creates a sense of honesty that is both refreshing and reassuring, as listeners feel that they are being given the truth rather than a polished version of it. Another important aspect of his communication is its consistency. Over time, people have come to recognize a clear alignment between his words and his overall message. This consistency reinforces trust, as it shows that his teachings are not changing based on convenience or popularity. In a world where messages often shift to fit trends, this steadiness is both rare and valuable. It gives people confidence that what they are hearing is grounded in genuine belief rather than external influence. The accessibility of his teachings also contributes to their widespread reach. Because they are available across multiple platforms, people can engage with them at their own pace and in their own way. Some may prefer short clips that offer quick insights, while others may seek out longer talks for deeper understanding. This flexibility ensures that his message can meet people where they are, accommodating different preferences and levels of engagement. It also allows individuals to revisit his teachings whenever they need guidance, reinforcing their impact over time. The combination of simplicity, passion, authenticity, and accessibility creates a communication style that is both powerful and enduring. It is not dependent on a single platform or moment, but rather capable of adapting and evolving while maintaining its core essence. This adaptability ensures that his influence continues to grow, reaching new audiences while retaining the loyalty of those who have already connected with his message. As people continue to navigate an increasingly complex and uncertain world, the need for clear, honest, and relatable communication remains as strong as ever. His ability to meet this need has made his teachings not only relevant, but essential for many. By speaking in a way that is accessible, authentic, and deeply human, he has created a connection that goes beyond words, resonating with millions who find in his message something that feels both meaningful and true.